Test. And there we go. I think maybe. I don't know. Looks like it might be working. I gotta check my own stuff here. Just in case. All right. So here we go. Maybe. Is it gonna open or not? Anybody? Anybody? Stream health is excellent. And we have Stephen. No, cancel. What the fuck? Are we going? Oh, I got an ad. So there's that. How's it going, Jeff? Stephen Parsons. You were in here a little while ago. I don't know about now, but all right. Skip my own ad. Make sure. Yep. Okay. It's showing up on there. Let me see about volume. Yep. I got volume. Cool. There we go. So, sorry, I just had to check everything, make sure I wasn't just sitting here kicking it with no audio because I've had issues with my soundboard and microphone and headphones and all that stuff. And sometimes I think shit's working and shit's not working. And that happens sometimes. In any case, yeah. So today I did not work. I had time to. Well, I have to put some stew in the microwave. Be right back. All right, Trail Dust, Kevin. We'll see you in a bit. Didn't work today. Had the day off, so to speak. I got in at like 4 o'clock this morning, something like that, and went to sleep. Obviously, woke up, went around town, handled some stuff, and let some stuff handle me, so to speak. I got a bit of a situation going on and personal things. It's really been irritating since about October. And no matter how hard I try to just nip this thing in the bud, it's just not working. And it can become frustrating. And so today I went by Buffalo Wild Wings and decided, you know what? Fuck it. I'm having a beer. And I sat down and I had a Guinness. And then I had another Guinness. And then I had a Vegas bomb. And then I came home. But in the meantime, I'm just like still kind of frustrated about these goings on that I've got happening, and they're not resolving. And even with all of my attempts to resolve this issue to no avail, I'm thinking about just like ignoring it. I mean, like. That usually works, right? If you just ignore a problem, it'll go away eventually, right? Because that totally has worked for everything else in my life. I mean, it only makes sense. If you just pretend it doesn't exist, it doesn't really exist now, does it? Yeah, something tells me that's not the way it goes. So I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Today, the liquid of choice is Wild Turkey 101 and Pepsi, and we're just getting cracking on that. So that might not come into play. It may. It may not. We'll see. Oh, so let's see. We've got. Da, da, da. Man, where are my analytics? They're nowhere. That's where they are. Top chat, live chat. We'll go to there. And I don't know how to remove this. All the warnings about my bit rate. I know my bit rate's jacked, but whatever. What am I going to do? It appears everything looks good. Mm-hmm. Good connection. Oh, there we go. I figured that shit out. Oh yeah. Hey, Kevin. There we go. Concurrent chat rate views. All right, 6. Can't beat a deal like that. Now can we? Oh, back in the day when I used to be interesting. Imagine that. You bet. Oh, the ad is gone and I am here. Oh, yeah. I forgot about the ads. Oh, and the great part is there's mid-roll ads. So at some point in time, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this thing is supposed to direct me. Hey, it's time for you to insert an ad, or if it just happens. I don't know. We'll see. But this one I should have better quality than when I'm at home, just because my internet here is smoking fast. And yeah, well, that's it for this episode of Alexis Unhinged. I will see you guys next time. Yeah, no, nah, mate. She'll be right, mate. All right. So, in any case, yeah, it's an ad for something. Kevin, it is always an ad for something useless. And I might add, it's no secret that I'm trans, right? I mean, like, I know you guys. It's hard for you guys to believe that, but really, I am. Uh, you kind of feel like you've made it when you open up YouTube, and then all of your ads are for feminine hygiene products, and it's like, really, really, sweet, I've made it. Yeah, that happened at one point in time, maybe like a year ago. When you're talking about, you hope it's an ad for something totally useless. Yeah, I've got no use for that, and but for some reason, for a hot minute there, YouTube thought that's what all my ads needed to be centered around. And well, of course, because YouTube is part of Google, everything else follows suit, like Facebook and Instagram and everything else. And it's like, really? And that's right, Jeff. Wild Turkey can be a fire starter. It can also be an Alexa starter. And we'll see how that goes, right? Uh, and the weirdest thing about ads to me is how just like you you don't even have to look something up. You can just be talking to somebody about something, and then like 20 minutes later, you open up Facebook and you've got ads for it, and that happens to me all the time. I mean, not like every day, but 2 to 3 times a year, I would say. I'll just be talking about something to somebody, and then I'm inundated with ads for that thing for a couple weeks, and it's like I haven't even looked that up. I mean, I think the most um, iconic one of those was just chit chatting about anyway, sorry, I had background noise coming through my headphones. The was chatting about Magic the Gathering with I used to play that years and years ago. I haven't played it in years, and well, a couple of years anyways. I got back into it a little bit, but um, yeah, and all of a sudden, it's like all my ads are for the game and this, that, and the other, and I'm like, really? Listen to me much, Google? I mean, come on, come on. My time should be my time. We don't need to do this. But no. I'm telling you, Jeff, that you're right. Sometimes just thinking about something and an ad pops up. I swear that's what it feels like. Oh man. Kevin, did you get the horses fed? I hope so, because it's already dark. If it's already dark where I'm at, it's already dark where you're at. So, oh wait, maybe that's just a morning thing. Do you only feed the horses? I don't know. It just occurred to me. You always have to feed the horses in the morning or something like that during the other show. My stew is hot, but I can still type with my mouth full. Well, that's good. If you can't if you boy, that almost went sideways. If you can't still type and you know, uh, I can't think of the. I can't take it. Think of the. I can't. Yep, I can't think of words. How's it going, Pandora? Yes. Well, I don't know. My TikTok doesn't. I don't really have that. I don't really have that issue with TikTok. I mean, like I have carefully crafted my algorithm on TikTok so that it literally just stays in its lane. Um, it's all of the like three or four different subjects that I like to follow on TikTok. It pretty much stays in its lane. Just because the stuff that's not in that lane, I don't really I like swipe on by pretty quick and um, you know, what do you call it? I don't interact with, so it kind of falls down the algorithm thing. Hubcap, the beer was pretty good. I gotta say, I was in a bit of a pickle this afternoon. I was what's the frustrated. I was frustrated, and so I was just like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm having a beer. And I stopped in and I had a beer, and then that was followed with another beer, and that was followed with the Vegas bomb, and then I came home. But I was feeling much better after that. That's been a few hours ago though, so I mean, still not on the words and throat. Um, but then oh, hey, Robert Whitney, what's going on? Checking in for a bit. I'm glad you could stop by. Yeah, I don't know how long I'm going to be at this. It just depends on the chat and where the chat goes. I've got an idea of some direction that I'm going to take it here in probably about another 20 minutes, 15 minutes. I watched a video earlier today, or a premiere video of some stuff that I followed that got me kind of thinking about some things that I'm curious about, and I'm curious about you guys' take on as well. But we'll get into that here in a little bit. Oh man, but yeah, it did work out there, Alan. It really did. That beer hit the spot. I hadn't had one for a while, and now the what do you call it? The Wild Turkey and Pepsi is gonna take us on this unhinged journey of that is my brain on a live stream, and till the Wild Turkey kicks in. That's right, Jeff. And for the rest of you guys in the chat, Pandora is a friend of mine from my hometown, and anyway, I dropped her a link earlier just to be like, hey, come check this out. But don't hijack the chat, and hang out, chit chat a little bit, and yeah, get a little insight into the community that helps form who I am. A lot of us have met each other in person. Some of us haven't, but uh, you know, uh, we're not just friends online. Some of us are just friends. Jet fuel. Oh boy, that is a dangerous combo. And oh yeah, you know what? I was home this last weekend, and or not this weekend. What was it? Tuesday. I was home on Tuesday, and I got my shop heater fixed, and I went over this in the Sunday show, right? I wait, no, I didn't. Have I had a Sunday show since I? No, I haven't. All right, sorry. Woo! Another drink. Now, I got my shop heater fixed because the quote unquote the rotor went out, which is basically the fuel pump, and so I had filled up my heater with diesel, so it's got 10 gallons of diesel in, it, and I had a spare 5 gallon can, and a 5 gallon can lasts about a day, so it'll burn about 20 gallons worth of diesel in a day, and so I start walking around, I get that fixed. And then I got my dryer completely disassembled because the heating element went out in my dryer. I get that thing completely disassembled so I can make sure I order the right heating element. Got that. And Daniel on the road. Okay, well that's cool. Don't be typing and driving. That's dangerous. Don't be doing that. Anyways, I got my dryer all put together or taken apart. So it's still it's a pile of parts in my garage in my shop right now. And I'm looking around. I'm like, where's my 5 gallon? I had a 5 gallon can of diesel here that I didn't put in the heater. Where is it at? And I'm like, I asked my daughter. I'm like, hey, where's my 5 gallon can of diesel? And she's like, that was diesel. And I was like, yes, that was diesel. And she's like, oh, Aaron put it in some old man's pickup. He was running. He was out of gas. And I was like, well, shit, he's still out of gas then. I better have a freaking diesel can back here full of diesel by the time I get back. Ugh. It's just like, why would I need? I don't know. I don't understand why I would need to like do something like put a note on the can that says diesel. When I mean, if it's not your can of liquid, why are you messing with it? Uh, but hey, better them than me. I mean, well, as far as putting it in a vehicle. I mean, I've done that. I accidentally put 2 gallons 2 gallons of diesel in my van one time because I didn't have enough to get home, and yeah, that was fun. Let me tell you right there. I come pulling into my driveway, just smoke pouring out of the back of this Astro van. It had what is it, a little 4.3 liter V6, I think it was, and yeah, smoke pouring out of it. I mean, it was still running and all. And then the next morning when I went to go to work, it would not start. It just kind of chugga 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 and wouldn't stay running. And like if you put gasoline in a diesel, you're hosed. And at least back then, I mean, if you put diesel in your gas, it's just not going to run. You gotta kind of dilute it or something. And I wound up having a friend of mine bring me a couple of 5 gallon cans of gasoline, high octane, the higher premium to put in there, and just diluted out the diesel in it. Ran fine and ran all that out without an issue. And yes, Jeff, you're right. Usually yellow can for diesel, red for gas. But my yellow diesel can is cracked, and the red one was empty, and I needed to shuttle diesel for my heater. And so instead of going and spending $25 or $30 on another one of those government freaking screwed up, useless jerry cans that I hate, that everybody hates, and buying another one, I just decided to use the red one that I have for gasoline to fill up my heater. And you would think, it, you would think that it wouldn't matter. I mean, like, hey, it's my house, it's my garage. I know what's in the gas can. What does it matter? But apparently it does. So, hey, what's going on, SNS Smithing? Glad you could join us for a little bit of perhaps adult not like adult in a spicy context, but adult conversation in the fact of words unfiltered. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. Unfiltered, unhinged, unleashed. uh. Anyways, yeah. So, because it's a kid and not a diesel can. Yeah, I know, right? The story of my life there, Hubcap. Yeah, it's like, oh. Anyways, what have you guys been up to this weekend? Or this, what fucking day is it? Oh, it's Thursday. Thursday? Yeah, it's Thursday. It is, yeah, it's Thursday. So days run together for me sometimes because, I'll go to work at like yesterday I was on location at 7 in the morning. It was Unraveled. That's a good one. Oh, Kevin, I like that. Alexis Unraveled. Yeah, that's an accurate representation of my situation. Hold on just a second. What's up? Oh, cool. Thank you. Yeah, if you got hazelnut, you might as well just keep that. I appreciate it. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I'll be on about an hour, hour and a half. All right. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah. I kind of get lost in the day of the week because, I go to work at, get up at 4 o'clock yesterday morning and go to work, and then I get back here at 4 o'clock this morning, and then go to bed, and well, got in at like 3:30, 4 o'clock, somewhere in that area. Go to bed, wake up at 9, 10 in the morning, and go all over again. Except I didn't have to work today, and I don't have to work tomorrow. So if I had to work tomorrow, I wouldn't be here right now doing this. I'd be I don't know, doing something else. You know, and you all know better than anybody that one of the things that I'm not going to be doing is editing podcast episodes because yeah, apparently I'm really bad at that. And I can sit here on a Sunday show and say, I swear I'm going to get those things edited this week and set to go live, and man, I've been saying that every week since June, and yeah, no, I haven't oh, you know what? I'm going to do that tomorrow. And if you believe that, well, hey, that's on you. Daniel, you're sheltering from the rain. Well, is it's raining out in California finally? Oh, that shouldn't be too awful bad. I mean, I know California needs the rain, but I think they probably need it a little bit higher up the food chain of the Colorado River than that. But yeah, I know, Kevin. You've got them memorized because there's only like what 100 episodes out there, and you've already been through each of them 3 or 4 times. That's all right. I will get to it eventually. I swear. It's just one of those things. Tomorrow on my list, I've got to do training tomorrow online. HR tells me they're not very long. They're just short ones. So hopefully they're like 20, 30 minute little deals. And then afterwards I can do a little bit of editing. But we'll see. Time to stop denying the delusion of edited podcast. Yeah. Well, okay. So just to be clear, I'm not actually going to be doing any clipping because I'm so far behind. I just don't have time for that. For me to sit there when I go to clip out all the ums and the ahs and clip out the things that just don't apply, it takes me like 3 hours to edit an episode. From the time I download the episode, click download on the episode from YouTube, and then upload on Spotify, it's about 3 hours. So it takes me 3 hours to upload one to get one Sunday show from YouTube to Spotify. Now, if I don't do the editing, if I just go in and I'm like, okay, let me take the entire episode, let me clip the front because I clip the fishies off because you get what 2-3 minutes of fishies. I clip the fishies and that's it. If I just clip the fishies and then throw in the beginning that little sound, what is it? Dizzy. I think, or no, it's Jelly Roll at the beginning, Dizzy in between segments, and the telling at the end. They're the names of the. Oh no, We Collect Shiny Things is at the end. They're the names of the sounds. Anyways, I add in the sounds in the appropriate places, and then click upload. And if I do all that without editing in the middle, it takes me about 20 minutes an episode. And so, it's not like it's something where I can just like click into YouTube and hit go. You know what I mean? So it does take a bit of effort and. I freaking hate editing. I mean, like, and if you can't tell that after having followed me on YouTube, I mean, like, I went from all in, like, yeah, we're gonna do this, to Yeah, nah, mate. This sucks. Oh, wait. Come back on. I'm not out. What? We're still live, right? I didn't. No, no, I'm still good, right? Warning, stream's current bit rate. Wait. Good connection. No, I'm still live. Okay. Wait, or is that an old message? Shit, I don't know. Ugh. Okay, yeah, we're still live. I'll tell you what the llamas to stop blowing his nose every 10 seconds. Tell the llamas to stop. I know what you're talking about. Yes. Oh, that is irritating. And you know what? Um, it's a nervous tick that he doesn't even know he does. And I've tried to talk to him about it, and it's like I can't. And he's like, I don't even know I'm doing it, and it's that or yeah, and it's like over. And I tried clipping it out. It's just it happens so often that clipping it is just like it's not possible because like it'll be in the middle of somebody else talking or whatever, and so it just is what it is. Uh, I can't do anything about that other than kick Yamez off the show, and I can't really do that because fuck, it's his channel and it's his show. You know, I mean, like we're just squirrels in his world, and this one being the exception, this one's mine. You know, but still, um, I can't type and talk at the same time, and yeah, that has got to be about it. Okay, so for me, when I'm listening to myself, at first when I was editing, and it was really difficult to listen to my own voice because everybody hates their own voice, right? And for me, it was originally doubly so. You know what I mean? Because I don't sound like I'm supposed to sound, and it took me a long time to come to accept that. And Yamez always does that little thing, and so like when I'm editing, I would try to edit out all of my ums, and me between me and Yamez, we have the most and that is so bad for broadcasting. I mean, you're supposed to know what you got going on and say it, say it, say it, say it. Don't pause, don't even though it. Yeah, that's right, hubcap. That's a good analogy right there. Uh, so, anyways, yeah, it's nothing I can. There's nothing I can do anything about. I mean, it's something that he does that he doesn't even know he's doing, and I there it just is what it is, and as irritating as it is, it's there, and when even when you're talking to Yamez in person, and you're just like, oh, but that's okay. It is what it is, and hey, well, once you accept Yamez for his quirks and ticks, you just kind of you kind of get to where you don't notice it as much anymore. I mean, I still do because I'm doing all this, and but I just got to let it go. And yeah, poor Dan Moss. Poor Dan Moss. Poor Dan Moss for what? Dan Moss came here and gave us all COVID before COVID was a thing. Remember? Brought his ass over from England, gave us all the crud. Everybody got. I mean, like that. I'm not kidding. That is the worst cold I've ever had in my life. Like what the crud that Dan Moss brought over from England that year was worse. I mean, I've had COVID, and it was way worse than COVID. Ugh. Yeah, yeah, Kevin. Yeah, in your head you sound like James Earl Jones. You bet. Uh, yeah, yeah. That was that I'm telling you that was so horrible that hey, we bring this guy over from England for a hammer class, yay, and then he shows up sick, and we don't really notice for a day or two, and then we all go home just like, oh, this sucks. Oh, good times though, good times. If he didn't do that, we wouldn't have that story to tell now, would we? Ugh. You don't want Yamez no ticks. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, it kind of it it makes him unique. You know what I mean? The all of the little quirks and nuances that make Yamez Yamez is what makes Yamez Yamez. Um, and without him, you got just another. Um, I don't know what Yamez would be without if he wasn't a Yamez. I mean, Walking Dead blacksmiths. That's right. That's exactly what it was, Alan. It was. Except none of I don't think any of us got it while we were there, right? Like I think we all went home with it, and it was all after the fact. I mean, what? Because we were there. Well, because I don't know. Fuck it. We were there for like a week, and then we all went home sick. I mean, I don't remember being sick while I was there. I did this year though. Me and I don't know what the hell Yamez gave me, but we showed up, and me and Yamez were dead from like we showed up on Monday at John's house, and we were dead Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Like Wednesday's when I had that date in there in Troy, and I show up, and I'm just like, or I'm at John's house. I'm like, I don't want to go. I just want to crawl into my tent and go to sleep. This sucks. And then and then I wound up going. I had a really good time, and actually by the time I got back, I was feeling better. A little bit, and then Thursday morning I was right as rain, and Yamas too. I mean, like I don't know what the hell he gave me, but oh man, it wasn't nearly as bad as the Dan Moss crud though. That's for sure. It was bad. I don't think. Tell you what, as big as yeah, no, that's true. You know what I mean? Like Yamez is probably the nicest guy, and I mean that really. Of everybody I've met, he'll do anything for you. And I mean, like I know I was in a situation, a few weeks ago where a little bit too much came out of the bank account too quick after I hadn't worked but 1 day in 10 days or something like that. And I'm like, hey, can you spot me a hundy right quick? Psh, sure thing. And then 2 weeks later, he's like, hey, can you spot me 100 right quick? And I'm like, sure thing. Uh, um, it goes both ways, but yeah, yeah, almost every time when I've been in a bind like that, Yamez has been right there. He's always my first call. I mean, like, hey, throw me a PayPal right quick, and let me so I can handle this. And he's never been able to not come through for me, and I really admire that, and I'm thankful for it. Oh, anyways, so I think I've been on here long enough. I've got a few viewers. I got eight, I think it says, maybe chat, maybe, or well, I've got eight concurrent. I don't know how many are on here right now. I can't really tell. But Daniel Blanca's home now. I want to talk about something that maybe a lot of us may not want to discuss. Maybe we don't really think about all that much. We'd rather not think about. Because as it so happens, if we hide from our problems, those problems don't exist, right? Oh, hey, what the hell's going on? Stop. Sorry. Okay, distracted. I got Roy pops in, and yeah. Can you spot me a hundy? My stimmy ain't come in yet. Yeah, nah, mate. I just spotted you a hundy, or I don't even know what I spotted you. I gave you my when I gave you my credit card to go to Walmart, but Okay, 8 o'clock. So that means it is. Just give me a second here. I got to grab my juice. And then sit down wrong. All right, medication's taken care of. Ah, 8 p.m. alarm. Yep, that's exactly what that was. Roy, dropping in to say hello. The great and powerful Roy. Oh, we're not worthy, right? Um. Anyways, I hope you're having a great evening, Roy. It's unseasonably warm in your neck of the woods. It's unseasonably warm in my neck of the woods. It's actually the warmest January we've ever had. And I think it's funny because like I keep getting these news break articles showing up on my phone that say, you know, freezing temperatures and snow headed for Texas, and I'm like, what, really? And then I open it up, and it's like, yeah, the Farmer's Almanac says, it's coming and it's coming hard, and I'm like, um, no, I don't think that's how we do weather anymore. But hey, yeah, everybody, in the autumn, everybody's all like, "Oh yeah, the old Farmer's Almanac says it's going to be a long, hard, cold winter, one of the hardest ones we've had." And I'm like, "This year's an El Nino. I mean, scientifically speaking, we should have a very mild winter this year. I mean, I don't know why the old Farmer's Almanac would supersede that, but hey, anything can happen." And yeah, I mean, like, I've got furry boots. There's been one day I could wear them all year. One day. Really? I mean, like, why have furry boots if they're only good for one day out of the year? That is such a waste. I want colder weather. And I can't even go to Roy's to get it because it's 50 degrees there today. uh Dude, I can't win. Yeah, it's going to be 49 tomorrow. 49 for, the top of Michigan. You're almost north of the wall. I mean, like, that's unheard of. Your Toro was depressed. Was that a snowblower there, Alan? But the groundhog has to be right. I don't even know what the groundhog said. And, is the status of the weather on February 2nd in Puxatawny, Philadelphia, indicative of the weather in the rest of the world for the rest of the northern hemisphere, or is it just for that area? So, like, if it's cloudy there, or if it's sunny here, if it's sunny here on that day, does that mean that now we have 6 more weeks of winter? I don't know. I mean, like, I've never really figured out how that worked out. Debaka, Daniel, why have the furry boots though? Why? Because they're freaking warm. I mean, just like, oh, and super comfortable. Like, oh, they're so great. But if it's over like 40 degrees, it's just foot sweat central. So, it's got to be down there in the freezing range to make them worth anything at all or worth wearing. Oh, you got 38 there, Kevin. Where are you at? Minnesota? No. Dang it. Tell me where you are. I don't remember. I should, and for some reason it's off the top of my head. I can't. Pandora lived in Washington State. Never saw the sun. I swear I liked it though. You know, I lived in Germany for 2 years, and we used to joke that whenever there was a sunny day, we would joke mark it off on your ration card because like tobacco and alcohol was rationed. You were allowed 4 cartons of cigarettes and 4 bottles of alcohol a month. Well, okay, that's whatever. But yeah, we used to joke that if the sun came out, that we'd mark it off on your ration card. And I would estimate, in all reality, not even kidding, there were probably 30 days a year where the sun came out, and the rest of the year it was just cloudy. And of those cloudy days, half of them it was rainy. So I would liken. The only time I've ever been to Seattle, it was sunny the whole time. But I would liken it to what people consider Seattle to be like. I don't really know because I mean, like I said, it didn't rain the whole time I was there. I was there for a week, and it was blue skies the whole time. But I actually did like the cloudiness and the light continuous rain. It was nice. I thought it was anyways, especially coming from Texas where, you know, as a kid it was, 110, 119. It never got cold, and you, you never saw clouds, it seemed like, unless it was tornado season. The groundhog is right 40% of the time, huh? Minnesota. See, didn't I say that? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I did have it right then. I think that's what I said. Minnesota. Yeah, yeah. Land of a thousand lakes, right? Yeah, that's right. February 2nd is still 6 weeks away from the spring equinox. So, yes, no matter what, you still have 6 more weeks of winter. Yeah, yeah, and that's Roy. That's similar here. Like we usually have our last freeze mid-February. We will typically have, like, if this was any other year, we would have probably 4 or 5 more days of butt freezing cold weather, with 1 or 2 of those days actually dipping below freezing. And so we would be due for one more freeze and one more cold snap, and then I mean, typically we plant here, like the end of February. When I was a kid, we always planted our garden the second week of February, and then there would be one time where we'd have to go out and like put hay and 5 gallon buckets over the seedlings or whatever, so they don't frost or freeze, and that was it. And but I mean, like, I don't do a garden anymore. It Where I'm at, it doesn't. It's too hot. They don't. It's too hot for them to produce, really. So it's really difficult to grow things out here in Midland. And but I'm thinking, yeah, yeah, like Ryan said, I don't think we're gonna get another one. It's entirely possible we're done with winter for the year, and oh, that kind of sucks because, like, I have so. I know you guys don't get it, but I have so many cute outfits for wintertime, and yeah, and then, like, the rest of the year is just face melting hot outside. So yeah, there's not much you can do with that. Frost line around here is like 14 inches deep. How Roy? Do you know how deep they bury, like, water mains and water lines and stuff? Because, like here, I mean, what I consider the frost line here is like everything is like water lines, sewer lines, like minimum depth is like 18 inches. Because anything below 18 inches isn't going to freeze. But when I lived in New Mexico, it was 4 foot. So, like, if you had to dig down to your water meter, you had to dig a 4 foot hole. And I mean, I don't know in Wyoming because I've lived on a farm, and so I mean we had well water, and the well water came in the basement. So, nah. And living in Germany, not having a lot of sun, did you get depressed? I didn't, but some people say they do without sun. Yeah, yeah, no, that's a thing. And no, I didn't really. I don't really think that was an issue for me. Um, I'm I don't think so. I think I spent a lot of my time in Germany depressed because I wasn't at home, because I wanted to be back in Texas. Because I was brainwashed that Texas is the greatest place on earth, and that if you weren't in Texas you should be sad. And I was that way until I got back, and I was like, shit, I actually had a really good time in Germany. I should have tried a little harder to have a good. I mean, like, I went to Rome. I got blessed by the Pope. Colosseum, did all that stuff. Leaning Tower of Pisa, Venice, Florence, Italy, Paris on New Year's Eve. I went all over Europe while I was there. Had a great time, but I could have done so much more. Metallica in Mannheim, Germany. That was awesome. But I could have had so much more fun if I'd have spent more time concentrating on the notion that, hey, I'm only going to be here once. I might as well make the most of it. I always thought when I was there, it's like, oh, I'll just come back someday. Yeah, no, realistically speaking, that's never going to happen. But But no, I didn't. I didn't ever really get depressed about the weather or because of the weather. I don't think. And I wasn't really depressed because I wasn't in Texas. I was more like homesick the whole time I was there because I came straight, plucked straight out of living at home with my mom and dad to basic training to tech school off to Germany. And there you go. And hmm, they've been tapping maple trees there for a couple of weeks. Jeff, I don't even know what that means. Like, I mean, I know what tapping a maple tree is, but I mean, is there like a season for that, or does it have something to do with, the weather in an area? I don't. I mean, I don't know. The 11th is a low of 29, but that could change, and that's the last freezing temps for the month. Well, if that's the last freezing temperatures for the month, that's the last freezing temperatures of the year because there's no way it freezes after February here. Holy crap! I got behind 3 feet. LOL, 24 inches, 4 feet in Michigan. Water main is below. Oh, okay, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about how deep the water mains are. Yeah, okay, so below 2 feet minimum. All right, gotcha. Trailers, you have a few cute outfits for winter. What's the definition of cute? Uh, so when you ask your wife, "Does this make my butt look fat?" and she says, "It's not the outfit." 4 foot depth is preferred. Yeah, that's all the stuff I had to do when I was in New Mexico. Whatever on water was all deep like that, and man, that sucks. Hey, what's going on, Shane? I'm glad you could join us. You still drinking a Bitburger pills, or was it just one and done? Just curious. The maple trees start to pressurize. Hmm. Okay. And what makes the difference, apparently, where we are at, is dependent on whether or not you are clay based or sand. Hmm. Okay, I can see how that makes a difference. Where I was at in New Mexico was sand. That's, I mean, basically, I mean, it was all alluvial plain, so everything was rock and sand. Mm, Clay was a rarity. And where I'm at here, we don't have either one of those. We basically have silt and then caliche, which is basically oxidized limestone. So, we're sitting on out here in West Texas, we're sitting on anywhere from 8 to 16 feet of oxidized limestone, which is called caliche because it's limestone, but it's crumbly, and it's easy to break up. Jeff, freezing temperatures at night, then warmer during the day makes saffron. Oh, okay, okay, gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. You're still on the same Bitburger? God, that's been a hot minute there. Or if do you not like it or what? I mean, eh, I can't drink a Bitburger straight off the bat. It's a bit hoppy for me, but I can hit that as second or third. All right then, Ryan. Catch you later. Alluvial decomposed granite. Ooh, that's fun. Oh, I can't hit my. Oh, I can. I can hit my own hearts. How about that? All right there. Well, thanks, Roy. Glad you could drop in for a bit. It's something every once in a while I get to hop on here and say hey and just chit chat about absolutely nothing at all. So you have a good night, Roy, and try to stay out of trouble, huh? Okay. All right. Is Roy gone? Flux, flux, flux. Yeah, no, I don't know. Gamming on Diablo 4. Plus, I don't generally drink if I'm alone, so it'll be a slow go. Shit, that's all I do is drink when I'm alone. What? No snipey comment about me saying tabbed up? Sounds good then. Yeah. You got the dub there. Don't call me back in like that. Oh, funny stuff. Funny stuff. Oh. Sorry. That's funny. Maybe that's just funnier to me than it was to everybody else. I don't know, but I just had like the whole Beetlejuice thing run through my head. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Oh gosh. Oh, thanks, Roy. That hit the spot. I really like that. That was perfect timing and the perfect response. Oh man. Oh. No, I didn't. I don't know what you're talking about, Ryan. I was not talking about wheels at all. So, just saying. Well, I'm sorry, but unless you're playing Fallout New Vegas, you're not really a gamer. Oh wait, no, that's Trent. Never mind. Forget I said anything. Anyways, um, now oh shit. Sorry, my chat just went whoosh as I clicked somewhere and it scrolled all the way to the top. Ooh. Couldn't grow. Oh, okay, so I do believe that is about the. God dang it! Come on. I'm having to look around my magnifying glass. I've got a magnifying glass. Let me see if I can get it up in here. I got a magnifying glass on a thing, and it's all up in my way. Okay, there we go. Don't hate on the no gamers. Yeah, right. I don't game much. I play a little bit, but not a lot. Uh, Unfortunately, I get drug into these old games that have been around for a decade, and I'm like, these are so much fun, and people are like, really? That's what I played when I was 4. Like I started playing Minecraft like 5 years ago, and oh, who's out? Oh, okay, Alan, you're out. All right, well, you have a good night. You have a good night. God, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I was gonna make a Lieutenant Dan joke, and I'm not gonna. That is cultural appropriation. All right. And let's see. Neverwinter Nights. Anyways, fuck, where was I? I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter. Hmm. I don't even remember what I was going to talk about. Better have more Pepsi. Yeah, that's definitely the answer, Jeff. That's definitely the answer. I think it. Oh, that's it. Minecraft. Okay, so like I started playing Minecraft like 5 years ago. Clara, the insane blacksmith, talked me into getting started in that, and I was like, "How has this been a thing?" And I never knew about it. This is crap. How did I never know this existed? And I mean, I still play it. I mean, like a couple times a week, anyways. But the thing is, for me, the hard part about it is I get vertigo. Like I'll be my little character, and I'll like walk up to the edge of something, and I'll put myself in crouch mode so I can't fall off the edge, and I'll look over the edge to see what's down there, and I will like literally physically become ill. Like my head kind of, I get nauseous, and like looking over the edge. I'm afraid of heights, and even on the game, when I look over the edge and it's like a big drop or something like that, I'm just like, whoa. And when I get into a situation, like say I've got a mine that goes all the way down to y negative 64 or something like that, and I've just got a single tunnel that goes straight down, and at the bottom I've got a puddle of water, and so if you drop into water, you don't take damage. I can drop in that thing, and it takes you 4 or 5 seconds to hit the bottom, and I'm like, the whole time I'm just like, oh, Oh, it's just like I don't know why it does that, but the realism. Minecraft isn't. There's no realism in Minecraft, but oh, it makes me. Oh, it gives me butterflies, and my only problem with Minecraft is the height. It gives me vertigo, and it's so weird that like people can be flying around in there and just jumping, and I'm just like it makes me so nervous, especially like bricking across in the Nether or something like that, and there's lava beneath me. I'm just like I'm sweating the whole time. It is so not fun to me to be up in the heights in the game. And then, Yames just introduced me to 7 Days to Die about 6 months ago, and man, I've been having a lot of fun with that, especially with the mods and whatnot, and just the different stuff you could do to it. But, yeah, you haven't, Kevin, you haven't played video games since Space Invaders. Come on now. Well, yeah, that's probably true. I mean, uh, I am old enough to have a what do you call it? Or have had an Atari 1600, and when like, sweet, this is gonna be so much fun. That was a long time ago. Oh yeah. Oh my god, is it? I haven't played video games since Space Invaders. That's like 30 years old. I modded my character too much back in the day and couldn't play it afterwards. Oh, I'll be a gamer till the day I die. I bet my wife 17 years ago on World of Warcraft. Right on, Shane. Oh, oh, Commodore. I learned how to code on a Commodore 64. The only computer program I ever wrote was I wrote a program to play Pong by itself. You know, that was, I mean, it was a class project. We all had to write the same damn program, but we had the basic. This is how you do it, and it wasn't like a list of, okay, write this, then write this, write this. We had to kind of figure it out, but figure it out. Lunar Lander was the bomb. Television for me was my first. Really, Shane? You had it in television? Come on now. Oh man, boy, this got off the rails, didn't it? Huh? A bunch of blacksmiths all up in a stream talking about World of Warcraft and Minecraft, and et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, I always thought World of Warcraft was funny because about the time I got started in the oil field, which would have been the early 2000s or whatever, uh, my grandmother and my grandfather they would travel the country all year long in their RV, and they were part of these groups that just like all meet up at, they meet up here, and then 2 weeks later they meet up over here. Well, they would stop by our place every year, and stay high for 3 or 4 days or whatever, and then they would, over the winter, they would overwinter back home in Oregon, and so they would spend 3 months at home in Oregon, and the rest of the year they'd be on the road. And on the road time, my grandmother would be sitting in the back just playing World of Warcraft all day long, like 75, 80 years old, just back there just kicking it. Well, no, I mean she would have been 60. Let's see, she's 81. She's 82. Okay, she would have been 60, in her 60s then. So that was almost 20 years ago. So. Mm-hmm. The Commodore could take extreme heat. I don't remember any of that. I mean, I do know they used to be a little warm, but hell no. We went right where you led us. Yes, yes, yeah, you did. Someone took the rails to make animals. That is actually a fair point. It could have happened. Shane, I had that cousin that had the Atari, and my uncle had the ColecoVision, compatible with Intellivision, and he also had the Commodore. Nice. See, when I was a kid, we liked going. We loved going to Pizza Hut whenever we could because Pizza Hut was the only place in town that had the arcade video games. So they had like Galaga and what's that? I think it was Space Invaders, Galaga, Space Invaders, and Pac Man. You know, and it's like that's the only place we could go to play video games until we got our 8-bit Nintendo. And I actually got the Atari 1600. Yeah, slightly after the 8-bit Nintendo, but I mean, it came with. I mean, we got it at a garage sale, and it came with like 80 games. You know what I mean? Like just like, bam. And you know, at the time, all we had for the Nintendo was like, um, yeah, Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt, I think, Contra, and Legend of Zelda. I think is all we had on the um, Nintendo at the time, and then we got the Atari with all these things like the Oregon Trail and Frogger and was it Maverick or something like that. I don't know. There was a game where you had to like rope steers and stuff, but Duck Hunt. Oh yeah, yeah. Technology for me was seeing my first microwave. I think it was in high school. Yeah, that's fair. I think I got my first or not me, but my parents got our first microwave in late '80s. I want to say. So I was in junior high at the time. 2D Star Trek based game. Oh wow, I don't even know that. To monitor, there was a guy that set up his Commodore 64 to monitor a boiler, and despite the heat in the boiler, no way. That's awesome right there. I mean, like, man, that because boiler rooms get pretty darn hot. I've done plumbing work in a couple of boiler rooms before. Ooh. Oh, do we get ad time? Mm, have you died of dysentery? Not, I died of dysentery. Uh, a lot of people didn't know the second controller played the dog. I don't remember. I don't know if I remember that or not. Huh? Maybe. Huh? You got me thinking there, Shane. I don't really know. That guy's playing Galaga. He thought we wouldn't notice. Oh, that's funny. Oh man, Duck Hunt. Gosh, can you remember? I can remember playing Duck Hunt, and it's like you're like, it's like, oh, come on, I totally hit that. What do you mean? Uh, oh man, that's so funny. Oh, all right. Who do we got? Well, it looks like we got so Pandora. Those of you guys that don't know, Pandora is her name, Pandora. Pandora. Shane's name is Shane. D Baka Maker is Daniel. And who else is in here? Oh, Trail Dust 55 is Kevin. So gives you first names to go on instead of having to type out an entire screen name. Apparently, you are a lot of people, Alexis. Yeah, I am. Wait, what? What? I'm not a lot of people anymore. I used to be two people. I'm only one now. Well, yeah, I don't see anybody. Oh, Jeff, I think is still in here. Maybe Stephen Parsons. Oh, there we go. Stephen Parsons. I am drinking Wild Turkey 101 and Pepsi. Instead of just going with the old cheap vodka or whatever. Well, I mean, I don't get cheap vodka because screw that. But or the moonshine. I just decided to uh, live a little bit, in reference to a lot of people didn't know. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. No, okay, Daniel, that is fair. A lot of people didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know. Good point. And I can't believe I didn't catch that. And Pandora typically, like, people in live streams typically don't like know each other and or know their names or whatever, but this little community thing is a little bit different. I mean, we're pretty tight knit. And yeah, we do this sometimes. We hang out on Sundays and other live streams across the week from time to time. So yeah, it's something to do rather than just sit around and Daniel, you've been drinking. Um, Surely that's not a question, right? I mean, like, because I'm obviously not working, and I mean, if I'm not okay, and that brings me to a point. Yeah. Um, Addiction is I was watching a stream earlier that kind of touched on that a little bit, and I got to thinking, like, and these are people that were talking about, like, had it bad with, like, pills or stuff like that, or with alcohol, and they had to go to rehab or AA or things like that, and and I get to thinking about my own circumstances, like, if Alexis ain't working, Alexis is fucking drinking, all right, and that's just the way it is, but that's that started out because 20 years ago I was using alcohol to mask my pain, so to speak. And yeah, it carries over to today still. But if I have a CDL, and I don't. I mean, I don't drink at work. I don't drink within 4 hours of going to work. I don't show up to work drunk. Um, and I can be at work for like 20, 30, 40 hours straight, and I don't ever get the shakes or anything like that, or be sitting around me like, man, I really gotta get a beer, or oh, I really need a drink. No, I don't. That never is an issue. It never really goes through my mind. It's like, I get off work, I come home, I go to bed, and if I'm not working the next day, I have a cup of coffee, and I follow that cup of coffee with a cold one, and then I'll drink the rest of the day without ever really getting tore up. Um, but it occurs to me that that's probably still kind of problematic. And I don't know. And the people who in the stream I was watching, they were talking about, like, how this thing, that whatever their addiction was, whether it was gambling or like, one of the people would go down and buy $600 worth of scratchers twice a week, and I'm like, what? Holy crap! Can't do that. But anyways, my point being is, these people, like, would whatever their vice was, they would, like, rather do that than anything else. And I'm like, well, I like to drink. I don't have to drink. And I mean, like, I really don't. I mean, like, I can, if I don't have time to drink, I just don't drink. You know what I mean? It's not something that's like I've got to make time for. It's just one of those things. But then it occurs to me, it's like, am I addicted to my job? And I'm not trying to, I'm not, because people use that as a flex, like a brag, like, oh, I'm a workaholic, I like to work all the time. And I'm not saying that as a flex. I'm not saying that as a bragging rights or whatever. I'm saying it from the standpoint that I really do love what I do. I like what I do so much that if I were independently wealthy, I would still do what I do. Because when I'm at home, like, I wish I was at work. Like, I would rather be out moving a rig than at home dealing with stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I can work 100 hours a week, and don't get me wrong, I'm tired. But I mean, like when I'm out there, there's these little dopamine hits. There's these little adrenaline rushes. Wheelie Wednesday. When I get the front end 4 feet off the ground. Picking up a pump or this, that, and the other. I mean, like there's all these things that make what I do exciting, and I love it. And I can't think of anything in my life that I would rather do than that. And yeah, work to live or live to work. Like I don't work to live. I don't think. I mean, I don't think. I mean, I'm like, and I'm bouncing this off you guys because I don't really know. Because I don't want to flex that I work 100-hour work weeks. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, I work, and I think about this because that's how I start my how was your week every Sunday morning is how many hours I worked. Oh yeah, I put in a 60-hour week. Oh yeah, I put in an 80-hour week or 100 hours. Whatever. But to me, it's not that I'm saying I worked this many hours and you didn't. But when I'm saying it, it's more of a reference of this is where my mind is at because this is how much I don't know. It's this weird thing, and now after today, I'm kind of thinking maybe I'm addicted to work, or not necessarily working, but what I do specifically. Because I mean, if I was a plumber, because I was a licensed plumber at one point in time, I would not be excited about going to work. I'm excited to go to work doing what I do, and um, that's a fair point. Um, that's a fair point, Kevin. You're eager to retire so you can do your own metal work, and you do really good metal work. I gotta say, I mean, like I like some of the stuff you come up with, but I was thinking about that the other day. I can retire in 8 years. 8 years, I can retire. Am I going to? Nope. What would I do with my time? Like I'm not. I'm no Kevin. I mean, like I'm no Roy. I'm no John Burnell. I mean, like my metal work is so subpar. I mean, I I couldn't pay my phone bill every month with metal work. I would have fun doing it, but I mean, like I couldn't survive on it. I mean, so and you know what? Then again, if I had to do it for a job, I probably wouldn't have fun doing it. Not like the one I do now. I mean, I do enjoy my job. I got lucky, and I'm one of those rare people that wakes up every morning excited because I get to go to work. I don't ever have to go to work. I get to go to work, and I love that. And I'm so lucky to be able to get to go to work any day I do. But does that make it problematic? Because like, most people, you work your 9 to 5 or whatever, you work your 40-hour week and you just go on about your day. When you're not at work, you do other stuff. Like, you come home, you visit with the family, or you make dinner, or you mow the yard, or I mean, pick an average life thing that you do. I don't do any of that. I mean, like I go out, I work 18, 20, 24 hours. I come home, I sleep for 4 hours, I wake up and I go do it again. My entire life, other than on days off, is basically centered around working. And I'm not salty about it because I love what I do. So, it's just some shit that my brain went off in a weird direction today, and I'm wondering if I have an unhealthy obsession with my job. You know what I mean? And I thought I'd get you guys' take on it, but I mean, I see that the chat's going off in a completely different direction and ignoring me, but that's okay because that's what we do. I just wanted to bounce that off you guys and without and see, and I still don't think I succeeded. I still think I came off like I'm bragging about how much I work, unless that I'm concerned about how much I work and whether or not that's mentally healthy for me. Hmm. I don't know. I'll fucking figure it out someday, I guess, when I'm dead. You know what I mean? All right, let me scroll back up the chat and see where this thing went. So, oh, a bunch of flux was being used on Instagram. Oh my God, Jeff, that's a good point. The flux conversation on Instagram was amazing. Flux that group. Whatever. No. Self-medicating, yes, that's exactly what I was doing, and I guess to an extent I still am. Work to live to work. Wheelie Wednesday, and yes, Daniel, there is a thing called Wheelie Wednesday, but Wheelie Wednesday actually happens any day of the week when I pick up an HP Doghouse combination. So. Shane, screw you. You have no job, no compulsion to do anything but laze around. Yeah, I know. You got a sugar mama, you lucky bastard. Although if I had a sugar mama, I'd be like, I think I'm going to volunteer to go move her eggs. Daniel, I'm sorry to hear about your mom. I mean, like, yeah, I know that was 10 years ago, but, still. Mine is still around, and man, I can't imagine how that's going to go. You know what I mean? Someday. Not happy about it, but someday. Oh, Alexis is still here? Yeah, barely. Is there something that I feel like I can't face? No, I don't think so. Stop defining myself by it. You sound proud. I am proud. I'm proud of what I do, and I'm proud of what I do because I'm good at it. And maybe that's a bit narcissistic. Maybe that's a bit um, prideful. Yeah, I guess. But I am good at what I do. And if I wasn't, I wouldn't be here. And I mean, if I wasn't good at what I did, I wouldn't have been able. I wouldn't have had the freedom to come out. But here nor there, um, is there something I feel like I can't face? And no, I don't think so, because I mean, therapy's really helped me with that. There used to be a lot of things I couldn't face, like going out in public was absolute murder for a long time, and stop defining myself by it. Fuck, Daniel, that's pretty deep, actually. That is pretty deep, because so much of who I am, I feel like, is defined by what I do. And maybe that hmm fuck, that's gonna give me some deep shit to talk to my therapist about, man. Hmm. Yeah, no, and Daniel, I know I do put myself out there, and it was a tough kind of road for me to hoe. I mean, like, you guys have been here since the Sully days, since before I was out, and maybe, and some people went, uh, uh hmm, what do you do when you're done? No, no, and Pandora, I don't mean I'm a narcissist. I mean, it's narcissistic. It's um a quality, that, in the respect of, it's all about me. You know what I mean? Like, and I do feel like sometimes when I'm relating my experience, I feel like as far as I'm concerned, it's all about me. It's like, yeah, this is what I do. This is who I am. I'm fucking proud of it, and you should admire me because, yeah, I mean, like, I feel that way, and it's like, and I know I shouldn't feel that way, and I know I shouldn't talk like that, but I mean, and it's so it's like, I don't know, but maybe because I feel that way, and because I don't know. See, now I'm talking in circles. Y'all got me fucked up. When you retire, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do when I'm done? When I retire, I don't know. I have no plan. No, like, my life is moving rigs. I don't want to die moving rigs. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I don't want to move rigs till I die. But I have no freaking idea what I would do if I didn't do that. Because if I'm not moving a rig, I'm just bored and ready to go to work. Other than, I mean, obviously when I go home on my days off, I get my 4 or 5 days off a month. I go home and I knock out fucking projects. It's like, let me get my blacksmith of the month project done. Let me get my dryer fixed. Let me get, the leak in the roof fixed, or let me get the hot water heater replaced. So I mean, like, I take care of projects and stuff, and I handle things, but it's not what do I do. It's like, if I'm not at work after 3 days, I'm just ready to go back to work because it's where I'm comfortable. It's where I fall into this little I fall into my slot. You know what I mean? Like, my slot in society. This is where I'm supposed to be. This is my thing, and this is where I'm supposed. You know what I mean? I'm not. I'm when I'm out doing other things, I'm awkward, and if I'm around other people, I'm awkward, and I'm uncomfortable, and I just don't like being around other people. The real only exceptions to that is at work. At work, I'm cool, confident, and whatever. And when I'm with around you guys, the blacksmithing community, I mean, like, I can roll up into Quad State and just be, well, okay, that's not true. That's not true. I roll into Quad State and I have to have Yamez walk with me around the grounds a couple times before I'm comfortable, like, walking around by myself. But still, I mean, like, you know, I'm comfortable in the blacksmithing community, and I'm comfortable at work, and in every other instance, I'm inside freaking the fuck out. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't show it. Nobody else sees it, but I am, my anxiety is pegging the fucking meter most of the time, and I can just be like chill and hanging out at the bar, talking to dudes like about a football game, full girl mode, don't give a fuck, and inside my anxiety meter is going ding 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 right off the rev limiter. And I can totally ignore that and just be like, yeah, what's up? Another beer, I don't know. It's a weird dichotomy between what's going on in my brain and what everybody else sees. Yeah. So you have a purpose beyond just hauling. No, I don't know. How do I define? See, God dang it! I see. I get so far behind trying in chit chatting. How do I define myself? Daniel Baca, hitting with the hard hitting questions today. How do I define myself? In the literal sense, I define myself as a hardworking trans woman in the oil field, and fuck. But you know what? I mean, like, I think most of the people that do that are in my profession, I think their profession defines them as well. I mean, like, maybe it's a byproduct of what we do. I don't know. Huh. But whatever. It is what it is. I mean, and my purpose beyond hauling. Oh, yeah, I do have a purpose beyond moving rigs and what I do. Pandora is slightly familiar with my view on that. And you've got to get ready for bed. And oh yeah, it is a Thursday, isn't it, Kevin? Yeah, you got to go to work. Um, yeah, there's that. All right, Kevin, you have a good night, and don't let the bed bugs bite. And if you got bed bugs, you got bigger problems than than getting a good night's sleep. So there's that. You move in 4 days, and dude, you're moving all the way from what, Tennessee to Houston, and you haven't even started packing yet. Come on now. Ugh. Can't stay to help you find the answer. Well, you know what, Kevin, that's all right because I wasn't gonna find the answer tonight anyways. Um, I'm just bouncing it off you guys because sometimes it's entertaining and sometimes it gives me a little bit of perspective. Daniel has asked me some hard hitting questions that I hadn't really thought of before, and yeah, you know what? It's like I get a free therapy session here with you guys. You know, the answer to life, the universe, and everything is 42. Well, as long as you don't panic. uh, the where was I going? I was going somewhere there. Oh yeah. My purpose, my purpose beyond rig moving. Um, my purpose. I am a visibly trans woman. I'm never gonna pass. You know what I mean? Like that's just not something that's in the cards for me, and I'm okay with that. I mean, like that was problematic early on, but that's not in the cards for me, and I'm aware of that. But that's okay because um, I am visible, and I go out and I just do what I'm gonna do. And if somebody's got a problem with me, fuck them. It's their problem, right? I say that, but you know, inside I'm still freaking out. You know what I mean? On the outside, I'm cool, confident, and all that. But oh yeah. So we're just gonna go off on a complete side tangent about where's my towel? Anyways, no, but so my maybe it's not my purpose in life, but something that I'm passionate about is being visible to show other people that hey, if this is who you are, you can do this too. If I can do it, anybody can do it. You know, living your best life isn't necessarily the easiest thing in the world to do, but everybody can give it a shot. And so, if I can help somebody along the way to realize that hey, I don't have to wear a mask every day. I can just be me, and the world moves on, or the world keeps going. You know what I mean? It's like, hmm, it's a weird little thing, you know. I mean, like last year in March, I went and protested at the Capitol, and spoke to the Senate on some bills and things like that, and spoke to a couple of representatives and senators, and didn't make any headway whatsoever because they still did what they were going to do. But I'll do it again this year, and you know I'll do my part for my community when I can, and I'll help who I can when I can along the way. And that is my greater purpose than rig moving. I feel like it is helping in any small way any other trans people that are out there hanging out that might come across me and be like, holy shit, she drives a truck in the oil field? Are you freaking kidding me? And nobody's killed her yet? Amazingly not. John Burnell, hey, how's it going? Glad you could stop in for a brief momento. The answer to life is 43. Stephen Parsons. Surely that was a typo because. All right, teach their own, Daniel. That's cool. I mean, I I haven't lost anybody personally. I mean, for fuck's sakes, I am 48 years old, okay? And the only person in my immediate family, like loved one that has died, is my sister. Like my grandparents are still alive. You know what I mean? I mean, like my sister, like this April 4th will be 2 years. Is the only um person I've ever lost in my life, and that was tough. And I know, I mean, as I get older, I mean, like people haven't been passing along, and so it's gonna stack up. You know what I mean? I know eventually, I mean, like here in the next, like decade or two, people that I know are going to start dropping like flies, and I don't know how I'm going to be able to handle that. I mean, that's tough, and a lot of trans people don't know 82% of Americans don't know a trans person, right? That includes trans people. That means 82% of trans people don't know another trans person. And so, I mean, like, I can't say, oh, I lost anybody to violence. Like I make a big deal about the Trans Day of Remembrance, and I'm fucking getting way off the rails here. Sorry, guys. This is not where this is supposed to go. I don't like bringing this part of my life into this, but it just kind of went there, and I don't mean to. Um, I don't mean to insert my life into you guys' everyday life. It just uh, I'm uncomfortable with that because I'm taught to keep it to myself. But yeah, fuck. But anyways, but yeah, no, I mean, like, so I make a big deal about the Trans Day of Remembrance every year because it's where we remember the names of the people that were lost to violence. 2 years ago, that number was 53, and this year that number was 456. That's a pretty big jump. And these aren't even people that I've met, and it still affects me. You know what I mean? And so these things are tough. Um, eh. Let's get back to steelwork, right? uh, can I hit something else instead? Yeah, they are. Sam Towns, they are inseparable, and it's an important subject. Well, thank you, Sam, and thank you for just dropping in on my impromptu sit around and get fucked up on Wild Turkey 101 and talk incessantly about stuff. And like I said, I apologize for kind of inserting my life into the conversation, but at the end of the day, it's probably not something that I know, like in on the Sunday shows and whatnot, we kind of ignore it, and we don't. It's just like, oh yeah, yeah, it's just always there, and nobody says anything about it. And and even when I brought this up with Adam and Yamez, it's like we're just not going to talk about it. We're just gonna go on like this is the way it's always been. And if somebody says something, then we'll bring it up. But if nobody says anything, fuck it, we just go on, and that's the way it's always been. And I don't really talk about that stuff because it doesn't really define me as so much as I like to think that I am not defined by my transness. I am not defined by my job. I define it. And as much as I like to think that, in the back of my head, I'm going, no, bitch, no. You're totally defined by being a transgender oilfield truck driver. That happens to every now and then get something hot and hit it with a hammer. Just walk, John. You're just now getting off work. I didn't know you worked this late. Sam and wait, I'm way behind. Anyway, howdy Alexis, howdy all yet, howdy Sam. Ain't seen you in a hot minute. Every time you go live on Instagram, Sam, like I see the notification and it says like 2 hours ago, and I'm like, damn, missed it again. Just walking out the door. Not talking about it as a cop out. That being said, I understand wanting to separate the professional and personal. I try not to talk about my personal stuff. No, and that's. I mean, like my whole online persona is not really a professional thing. I mean, it's just because it can be a divisive issue. I try not to really bring it up. You know what I mean? And I just want to be me, and I like to think that if I'm just me and I don't make that a focus of stuff, that people are just like, oh, yeah, yeah, no, no, I know a trans chick. Yeah, 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 yeah. She's a blacksmith slash oil fit, whatever. You define me however you want to define me. But, um, and yeah, I don't know. Fuck it. there I am going off on a wild tangent again that doesn't matter. But yeah, but I will have to say though that having that kind of outlook that these things that are part of my life, while they don't define me, having the attitude that I don't really need to make it centric to my life has kind of helped the depression a bit. You know what I mean? I don't. Yeah, I know. Like the purple, like really does embody who I am, and like I've like dyed my hair red and blue and so other things, but and then but it always comes back this like purple. It's just who I am. I don't understand it. I mean, it just is. But by just being genuine and not making it centric to my personality, I think it makes me come across more um just like a regular person, which is all I really want anyways. I just want to be a regular person, or be viewed that way, you know what I mean? Um yeah, pour another round. Oh, I ain't finished this one yet, so and yeah, I mean, and Daniel, I do appreciate the support, and I mean all of you guys. Like, I mean, you have no idea how tough. Like when I came out on my like coming out tour in 21, yeah, 21, yeah, 21. Which that was really difficult for me. I like every because I pulled apart or pulled off every person from our friend group. Like John and Granddad's Forge. John being Coffee, John Coffee, Granddad's Forge. Ed Stoll. Each one of these people is the Quad Squad. Like I pulled each one aside and had the conversation with each person individually. And every single time I cried my eyes out having that conversation, and every single time they're like, "You're cool, we're cool, we're good," and every single time I had that conversation, I thought I was talking to that person for the last time. You know what I mean? And I was pleasantly surprised by having a group of friends that were just the greatest and the most accepting people, and I didn't expect that. You know what I mean? And so like whereas I thought I was going to have to fight to be viewed as authentic, everybody just was like, "Cool, you be you," and I was able to just be like, "Huh, all right, I guess I'll just be me then." Yeah. And if you're gonna give me shit because I drink too much, well, yeah, that's a product of really realizing I was trans at 27 years old, and then spending the next 20 years denying it. But you know what? Now I am who I am, and I still like to drink. Let me pop in here and see what we got here. I don't let others. I don't want others to define me either. And that's a fair point, Daniel, because I mean, oftentimes we are defined by other people's um, views, or we define ourselves by their views. You know what I mean? And I don't think anybody should do that. I mean, I think we should get to define ourselves and determine what that is. I mean, like I don't really choose to be defined by um, my gender or my profession, but I mean, in a way, they kind of do, and there's not really anything I can do about that. You know what I mean? And so I've got to kind of be okay with that, and I think anybody else in a similar situation has to be as well. Live and let live. I am not brave. I am not brave. And don't. A lot of people around Bront said that. Like when I first came out, like not to me, but they said it to like my daughter and other people. Oh, she's so brave. Oh, your dad is so brave. And yes, I'm dad, and I'm a she, and I'm still dad. So I'm a girl dad girl. But um, and I don't think it's brave because it's not like it didn't take courage to. I don't think it took courage to do what I did. It just took determination, and it's either I'm going to do this or I'm going to die. I mean, it wasn't bravery. It was defeat. I was defeated, and it was just like, all right, let's do this. This is gonna suck, but let's do this. And mhm. Yeah, everything is purple. Yeah, I do. God, I've got so much purple, and one of the hardest things about the like me being a purple person is I've got so much stuff that's purple, and I tend to overdo it. It's like I got purple eyeliner on, and I got purple earrings, and I got purple hair, and I got a purple shirt, and it's like, okay, wait, that's too much purple. Back it down a notch, bitch. Uh, Sam, coming out late can be such a weird experience, especially internally. It's harder when we fear we won't be accepted in a community we value. Yeah, no, for sure, man. Um, that really was tough. You know what I mean? Because I knew for years. I mean, well, I've known my whole life, and then I was able to put a name to it when I was 27, and at 44 is when I pulled the trigger on it. But um, no, I thought for sure that I was going to lose everything and everyone, and I got to the point where it's just like I have to be willing to sacrifice every person I know, their relationship with me, in order to keep on living. And man, I mean, everybody in this room right now, everybody was just like, "No, you're good." And so I did not think it was going to go that way, but it did. And yeah, girl dad, yeah. Oh yeah, it's it that and that was the gives new meaning to girl dad. Yeah, no, my kids and I had a conversation when I first came out. Well, do you want us to call you mom now? And I'm like, whoa. Let's hold that up because I am not your mother, and there is no way I could replace her, and there is no way I even remotely earned the right to be called that. So no, I would never be that try to insinuate that I am on the same level as your mom. As like, no, you can just call me dad. I'm good with that. And then my grandson, he called me Papa before I came out, and it just kind of stuck, and it just is what it is. And now he gets to argue with the other kindergartners like my Papa was a girl, whatever. But uh, it's fun. Ah, man, after a long Luffy, what's going on, Luffy? Man, it's been a long time. I ain't seen you in ages. And just stopping by to say goodbye, huh? Luis. Uh, Hi and bye, Luffy. Purple is the answer. Purple is the answer to life, and I used to say I'm a purple person because I'm not conservative, I'm not liberal, I fall kind of in the middle. You know what I mean? Like I prefer my politics based on the quality of a person rather than their party affiliation. Um, but that's changed a lot over the years. I mean, and just necessitated by my need to stay alive. But no, I mean, like, I don't know why, but like purple has just kind of been my thing. And then when and my brother was one of the people that I lost in my coming out. One of the two, Hans being the other one. Um, the but my brother's favorite color is purple, and he chatted me up maybe 6 months ago. He's like, "Hey, bitch, I'm in town. Come pick me up. Take me to lunch. While I'm waiting on this compressor to get loaded." I'm like, "Okay, here we go." And went and picked him up, and he's like, "What's with the purple hair?" And I'm like, um, I like purple hair. He's like, "Well, Not my fucking favorite color anymore. It's like, well, sorry about your bad luck there, buddy, but you know. Oh, anyways, hate to love and leave, but have to fly. See you guys later. Sam, you have a good morning, afternoon, day, or go get some shit done. Sam, have a good one. What do you guys think of raisins and potato salad? Raisins have no place in potato salad. I'm just gonna say that right now. Pandora, I think like red gives you a happy feeling, and for me, purple is more of a calm. Like for me, it resonates calmness and just like chilling. Not what blue is chill, and red is intense, and purple is like right in the middle. You know what I mean? And that's the kind of the way I see it. Purple is right in the middle. Is just like going with the flow, vibing. You know what I mean? Wait a minute, I didn't say anything about coconut. Yeah, why would there be coconut in potato salad, Daniel? I mean, why would there be raisins in potato salad? That in both instances, that is so wrong. I mean, they're like, I mean, I get it. I mean, you could really put anything in whatever you want. I mean, like for instance, pineapple on pizza. A lot of people think that's just like what, but pineapple is absolutely the best pizza topping because it goes with anything else you put on there. Ah. Now you want to talk about a controversial subject? Start talking about pineapple on pizza. Do we have anybody in here that thinks pineapple does not go on pizza? uh, Raisins and potato salad. I've never even heard of. I mean, like I'm just like mystified right now. It's like I've never even heard uh, of raisins and potato salad. And purple is Switzerland. That's right, John. It's neutral. Pineapple on pizza was created in Canada. Pineapple only if it's caramelized. Pandora, you shut your mouth. Don't be contrary just for the sake of being contrary. Come on now. Pineapple may not be meant for pizza, but pizza is definitely meant for pineapple. I bet May likes I bet May likes pineapple on her pizza. uh, it was created in Canada, huh? All right. Well, I wouldn't know, but I mean, that's not something I ever looked up. Bunch of fucking hosers up there, but it was caramelized, not raw. And you know what? I mean, like I've had caramelized pineapple on pizza, and that is way better than just raw. Okay, Alexis, I see you. Pineapple on pizza. Psh. Okay, don't even put up a fight then, Pandora. Come on. I mean, they're have some backbone. Tell me why it doesn't go on there. I mean, no, I mean, like in all seriousness, this though, I mean, like I can eat May only likes pepperoni. Okay, well, yeah, she is a quirky like that, but um, when it comes to pizza, I'm a pretty much like you can put lots of different stuff. Error YouTube is not responding enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Oh, it must be mean you guys are getting spinning wheel of death on occasion. Yay. Anyways, um, I'm open enough about my pizza that I can go with a combination of this, combination of that. Like this, that, and the other. I mean, like let's throw all these things on there. Let's throw like a taco pizza. Oh my god, that is my absolute favorite pizza. Is a taco pizza. But they're it's hard to find a place that makes them really. And then my next go-to is Canadian bacon, pineapple, and black olive. Love that one. But I can really go with just about any combination of things on a pizza except anchovies and mushrooms. It's the only two things that I won't eat on a pizza. Just because anchovies are disgusting, and well, for all intents and purposes, so are mushrooms. I mean, like if people were meant to eat fungus, they would just lick their toes all the time. I mean, like cut out the middleman. Who thought of putting stinky fish on pizza? That and a fungus. See, there you go, Shane. A man after my own heart. That's right. Anchovies and mushrooms. Ooh, neither one of those have uh, ketchup on everything. Oh my God, really? Oh no. Oh, May eats. I bet May eats ketchup on everything. Yeah. Yes, and obviously Pandora, you like mushrooms because you had the mushroom gravy or whatever on your what was that ravioli or whatever at Olive Garden last weekend. So there's that. Mushrooms have no flavor. That's right, Shane. It's the flavor doesn't really bother me. It's the texture. Like I don't mind mushrooms being in something or a part of a meal, but if I can see them, I have to pick them out because if I can see them, I can feel them. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't. That's exactly it. I don't like the texture of mushrooms. Wrong fungi. There's a fungus among us. Uh, John, how did I know you would totally be a mushroom guy, John? I bet you're one of those person that they could just like totally eat truffles, right? Shane, you got to tell Pandora about that pizza debacle at the mall. The bushy mouthfeel, yeah. Oh God, I can't do that. Oh, olives are just too salty. That's just because they're pickled. I mean, well, on the other hand, I mean, I don't think I've ever had an olive no, I don't know. Are canned olives pickled? No, I don't think they are. Hmm. May would put ketchup on a pizza. Ugh. Ugh. No. Yeah, what do I put on pizza? I put on hot sauce and more hot sauce and a whole packet of red crushed red pepper and then another hot sauce and then salt and lemon pepper and then I put another piece of pizza on top of it and eat it like a sandwich. If I could get a calzone with all of that hot sauce and red pepper inside it, man, that would be perfect. Someday I'm gonna have to make my own calzone. My only real complaint about that though is like going to Italy and then having pizza and calzone and stuff in Italy, and then realizing that Italian food in Italy and Italian food in the United States are not even fucking close to the same thing. Like not even close. Like pizza in Italy has got like 1 tablespoon of sauce on it. That's it. And the rest is all like artichoke hearts and I mean, it's so weird that the way America like changes food to suit a palate. I mean, like Chinese food in China and Chinese food in America are not the same. Yeah. Ugh, not the condiments on pizza thing. Ugh. Oh, yes, canned olives are pickled. Okay, fair enough there, Daniel. I wasn't sure of that. That's just one of those things. That's like, wait, they're not really salty and they're not really vinegary. So are they pickled? I know the green ones are always pickled, but Oh, ignore my typing mistakes. My phone hates me. Don't they all? Yeah, I was talking to HR today. Well, I went up and talked to him because my training stuff wasn't working. And she's like, "Well, are you doing it on your phone? Yada yada." And I'm like, "No, I'm not doing it on my phone." I'm like, I hit all the wrong buttons on this thing. You know, I mean, like, you know how hard it is for me to type on my phone and not typo? I mean, her thing is she just puts ketchup on everything. Yeah, yeah, all right. I can see that though, and I know quite a few people that do that just like ketchup on everything, and it's just like personally, I don't like ketchup, but that's just me. Well, no, it's not just me, but it's a me thing. I don't. The only way I'm gonna eat your ketchup is if I put Louisiana hot sauce or Tabasco sauce in it. Then it's actually tasty. But until then, it's like crushed tomatoes with sugar on it. Mm. But yeah, no, and like Shane was talking about, like some kid put all three condiments on his pizza. It's like have a slice of pie with ketchup, mayonnaise, and mustard on it, and it's like, wait, what? Mustard and mayonnaise on a pizza? Okay then. Oh man. Ooh, that one went a little bit steep. And see, you know what? And some people can type on their phone, Jeff, with no problem. And my problem is that my autocorrect is always picking the wrong words. Like if I'm not I have the opposite problem of everybody else. If I type the word shot, you know, because it comes up in my conversation quite often because I take estrogen injections, right? And so like I do my shot on every 8 days, whatever, right? Every single time I type the word shot, it auto corrects it to shit. And I'm sure for every other person, when they type the word shit, it automatically auto corrects to shot. And it blows my mind. And, you know, and there's quite a few other things, but I've actually found, because of okay, so like right now I don't have nails, but typically I have nails. I just went and ground them off on Tuesday because I was foraging late at night and I broke another one off and I was down to three left, so I just ground them all off even. But so it's hard to type with nails, and then when they break off, now the touch surface on my fingers has changed and I can't hit any of the right buttons. So I found that swipe actually works a lot better for me now, and I get a lot less messed up words. So, and Alexis has gone way off topic. Yes, I have gone, but you know what, Daniel? That's the beauty of Alexis Unhinged is the topic can go anywhere the chat wants it to go, and it is purely directed by things that are said in the chat. It's not like, you know, I mean, if you remember back in the day, a Sunday morning gathering in the Tim era, you know, it was 80 people would gather up and we'd all sit around and talk about our projects and what projects Tim is working on. And that was literally the whole conversation. And basically a bunch of people marking out to Tim. And then, you know, Yamez took it over. We lost 2/3 of the viewership. And we tried to turn it into something a little bit more educational and interactive. And you know it is what it is, but we did get rid of a lot of the chat based interaction back and forth, you know, and so this is the chat based interaction back and forth to the extreme, because we're not talking about projects, we're not talking about like, oh, you know, my power hammer broke or this that and the other. We're just talking about whatever the fuck we want to talk about. And you know, if somebody wants to talk about, oh, I was drunk. Jeff, you can drink at any time. You know, you don't. Wait a minute. Oh, I was gonna say, ooh, there is not enough Pepsi in that. I was about to make the bitter beer face, except for Wild Turkey 101, and go, ooh, well, that was strong. Okay, and okay, Pandora, the Whataburger spicy ketchup is fairly mild, but as far as ketchups go, it's a good start. I do like that all right. It's yeah, I won't really do a lot of I won't I still if I'm gonna eat dip my Whataburger fries, I'm gonna do it in the spicy ketchup. I have a friend that eats fries with mayo. That's totally a German thing too, dude. In Germany, they all dip their fries in mayo, and I remember being over there going, "What?" Chop up blocks of cheese into a log and use them to scoop mayo out of a jar. Calls it heart attack on. Oh my god. Yeah, no, Pandora. I know what you mean on the nails there. It's just that it's a thing, you know. What's wrong with eating French fries with mayo on them? What's wrong with it is it's fucking nasty, Steven. All right, it's just unnatural. And yes, I have tried it. I did try it. Pommes frites with mayo. I did try it. It was just like, ugh. They just didn't go together. However, I mean, like mustard, pommes frites on mustard, or mustard on pommes frites is it's French fries in German. Pommes frites, but they're a slightly different texture. It's hard to explain, but with mustard, they were actually pretty good. Yeah, Daniel, we lost two-thirds of the viewers because Tim never made a video like announcing that the show was moving over, and so we went. The Sunday morning gathering went from about 80 to 100 people per Sunday show to about 20 ish. Now that I have denounced John, this is so deja vu. We've already been through this. You know I don't like ketchup, and that's fine. I mean, like, come on. I mean, I don't like ketchup. You do. I don't like wiener. You do. I mean, hey, to each their own. No judgment. Adding chamoy. Yeah, that's coming. I'm gonna try that for sure. And time for a Harbor Freight commercial. Ooh. Sorry about the commercial, guys. I can't do anything about it. Taco Bell hot sauce tastes better than their Diablo. Change my mind. Diablo is Taco Bell hot sauce. Ah, yeah, there you go, Stephen. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That explains it. Now, one thing that I discovered in Germany, that I did not experience till I got there was a spicy brown mustard. Never heard of it before I went to Germany. And then, like you go to a street vendor and you get a bratwurst and you get it with mustard. I mean, they don't have regular mustard. They only have spicy brown mustard. And so, I mean, like, I was like, oh my God. I could literally, like, when I discovered spicy brown mustard, I could literally just eat it right out of the bottle. I could just, like, go to the fridge and just get a mouthful of spicy brown mustard. I love that stuff. And to this day, it's the only mustard I'll eat is spicy brown now. Yeah, and Pandora, I will say yes. It yeah, nails takes practice for sure. And the worst is like when I get my nails done, I can't do necklaces. I got to have somebody put them on for me. Sometimes earrings too, but I did buy two sets of hemostats so I can grab the earring, stick it through, grab the back with the other hemostat and stick it on. So I have hemostats for that, but the hemostats don't work for necklaces. So what you're telling me? New name, new name. What? What? What are you talking about? I don't like wiener. You do. I was talking to John. You got to go to San Antonio. I lived in the valley between Texas and Mexico, and the food is amazing. No, I lived in Eagle Pass for fourth and fifth grade. Literally right on the Rio Grande. Literally, it was 50 yards from my house was the Rio Grande, and yeah, people walked through every night. Nobody gave a shit. I mean, they did never. Nobody ever fucked with anything. They just walked right through. I mean, at the time, this is back in the late 1980s. I mean, the Rio Grande was 5 feet wide and 4 inches deep. I mean, it's not like you're swimming. And they just came across and went on looking for a better life. Gonna go pick cabbage and shit. Do the things that Americans won't do. And Shane, Alexis said that Nasty Steven in her rant that fries with mayo are nasty. And you know what? I honestly, Pandora, I don't like um, Taco Bell either. The only thing I will eat from Taco Bell is a 7 layer burrito. That's it. That's the only thing I'll eat. It's been that way since the 7 layer burrito came out. Well, I'm sorry, that's not entirely accurate because if I wind up going, if somebody winds up dragging me to a bar, and we're there way later than I want to be there because, like, let's be honest, 9 o'clock's my bedtime. And they come dragging me out of there, fucked up like a soup sandwich. And we roll through the Taco Bell parking lot. And I'm gonna be like, hey, give me 4 soft tacos, which are just basically their meat, bean filler, and cheese. But typically 7 layer burrito is the only thing I'll eat from Taco Bell. Everything else I think is nasty. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, seriously, I spent a couple of years in Eagle Pass, and back then, you mean we used to go. I mean, like I was in fourth and fifth grade. We used to go to Piedras Negras and hang out like for the weekends and shit. And like maybe once every 2 months, we'd go into Mexico and we'd drive like 2 or 3 hours south to some ranch and hang out there and go hunting and shit. And um, different time, you know what I mean? There's no way I'd do that shit now, but this was totally pre-cartel era. I actually didn't live in Eagle Pass. I lived in a little bitty town on 277 called Normandy, which was like 5 miles from Quamado. Quamado was 5 miles to the west, and Eagle Pass was like 10 miles to the east, I think. The mileage might be off, but we were right between Eagle Pass and Quamado. And my dad worked for Alta Verde Industries, which was a beef packing plant right there in Eagle Pass. And then we used to hunt a ranch in Uvalde, just south of San Antonio. Good times. The most memorable thing I have from living down there and going to school down there was my fourth grade history teacher was was former CIA intelligence, and he was a Russian interpreter. And so they intercepted like Russian communications, and he's the one that translated them into English. And then, yeah, when he got done with the CIA or whatever, he became a history teacher. And so he was teaching us Russian on the side in history class in fourth grade. And the only things I remember are American was Amerikansky, and Russian, which was Ruski and Niet and Da. It's the only things I remember from that in fourth grade. But Niet, Da, Amerikansky, and Ruski. But hey, George, made a live show. Right on. Glad to see you could make it. We are fucking way deep in this. How long have I been live? It doesn't really matter. I mean, it's not like there's a fucking time frame. I'll be here until all you fuckers drop out. But well, I am out. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Jeff, you have a good night, and yeah, have a good night. Thanks for showing up, and thanks for chit chatting and providing a little insight. It's all valuable sometimes. Did I go to the reservation? I don't think so. As far as I know, the only reservations I've been on, I've been in the Four Corners area. So that's the Jicarilla Apache, the Navajo, the Hopi, and the Ute. Wait, there's also I think it was the Blackfoot up in the south, the Black Hills. I think it's the Blackfoot, I think, or the Sioux. I don't know. Whatever the reservation is up in the Black Hills, up around Deadwood and shit. Mix and melt. Yeah, I don't know about that. I've never had that, so I can't say that I like or don't like. Well, no, okay. Yeah, no. 7-layer burritos. That's it. That's the only thing taco makes that's any taco makes that's any bell. Have another fucking whiskey and coke there, Alexis. Woo! All right. Yeah. Chat's dying down. Somebody better say something. Something. We're actually doing pretty decent. We're down to 5 concurrent instead of 8. 38 views. Average view duration 27:53. That's not bad. Yeah, there's a little reservation that's like right on the Rio Grande at the bridge. Like when you cross the bridge over into Piedras Negras, there's this like area, like it's literally right under the bridge, and it's like there's all the little huts and everything that are made with feed sacks and whatnot down there, and it's literally just a little bitty reservation of the I can't begins with the name of the tribe begins with a P, but they were always there, and they had at the time they had free reign because they had their reservation had land on both sides of the river, and so they were free to cross back and forth and get in the water and all that, and they weren't fucked with. Um, but it was just that little bitty tribe, and they were, from what I was told when I lived there, is like they were like the last of their people, and it was like 80 people that lived on that little reservation right there on the on the river right there at the bridge, the main bridge in Eagle Pass, where you go across, which is where the entire fucking God's Army convoy showed up last week to realize that there's actually no invasion and nobody crossing like they told there were, because there never has been. It's like one person crossing at a time here and there, all up and down the river. It's not a group. You know what I mean? Live down there. It's been the same about flow of people for the last 30, 40 years. It's just, they base their numbers on how many people we catch. And so, like, they assume that if we catch 100 people, 20, or if we catch 20 people, 100 came in. And so if we catch 100 people, they assume 500 came in. So they always assume however many people that the Border Patrol and Customs, however many people they catch, the number of people coming in is 5 times as high. They don't take into account that, well, maybe we caught them all this month, or maybe we caught half of them. They just the number of undocumented illegal immigrants is 5 times however many they catch. And so, I mean, I think that's kind of a flawed way of counting people that you can't count, but whatever. Fuck it. Not my problem. They don't do the jobs that I do. They do the jobs that I would not do, and if they want to do that, fine. I don't care. Did any of those groups forge or do metal work? I want to start referring to myself as a Mexi-Melt. Pandora, you're totally a Mexi-Melt. You're a Mexican that's melted into society. You're home now and not driving, John. All right, John, fire up the forge and... Oh, wait, no, it's too late for that shit. Fuck that. Especially after spending all night in a foundry, right? Mexi-Melts have been discontinued, but can get them if you get the cheesy melt and ask for pico and ground beef. Hey, there you go. God's convoy. Yeah. So I'm gonna dive into politics here a little bit. Don't mean to. Sorry about your bad luck if you disagree or whatever. But it is what it is. God's convoy was a group of people from all over the United States that have been listening to the conservative agenda, saying that there's an invasion at the southern border down here in Texas, and that there are just tens of thousands of people that are just forcing their way through, and that there's nothing we can do about it, yada, yada, yada. And, the government and the National Guard and Greg Abbott, and there's all this, there's like basically this whole fucking invasion happening at the border at Eagle Pass. And so, like, all of these people, all of these truckers, okay, it was supposed to be like 600 or 700 trucks strong, and like it turned out to be like 6 trucks showed up, and 20 or 30 people in RVs that Venmo'd their way down, and now they're stuck down there because they don't have the money to get home. But they showed up to Eagle Pass, and there's no like immigrants trying to come across. There's no crowd of people. There's nothing going on. It's like people were been there for a week, and like they saw 6 people try to cross, and they were intercepted in the middle and sent back. That's been all of the action. And they're like, in news interviews, these people are like, we feel like we've been lied to. We were expecting like to have to fight off the Mexicans, and there's nobody here but us, and it's just, it's rhetoric. People have to have something to argue or something to complain about. And, if there's nothing to complain about, you have to make something to complain about. I would so go for it right now, but my neighbor's not my like. Fuck your neighbors, John. uh, Yeah, no, Pandora. I've watched the videos and the interviews, and like literally these conservative people that like, walk across the bridge. Costs $1 to go to Mexico, costs 30 cents to get back. And they walk across to the Mexican side, and they take all this video of everybody all like posted up on the American side, and there's just nobody over there. And not to say that there might not be like waves. I don't know. I mean, like I'm not there. I lived there in 4th and 5th grade, so that's been a long time ago, and it was always just a trickle of people. Every now and then somebody came through, and nobody cared back then. I mean, because to be fair, I mean, like back then, that's where you got your like cheap labor from. You hired an illegal to, you paid him $50 a day to do this or do that or to fix your roof or whatever, and everything was cool. But because I mean, if you're gonna, I don't know, that's a sticky situation. I've worked with a lot of people like that, not illegals, but like Mexican nationals with green cards and stuff like that, and those motherfuckers outworked me every single day, and I don't know how they did it. Like washing barrels, making feed at feed plants, building a half-mile of fence in a weekend, and I'm just like, I'm out there dragging ass, and these guys are just steadily out there pounding T-posts, digging holes like it's nothing. And I'm just like, how are you guys still upright, And I have nothing but the utmost respect for people that are willing to work that fucking hard to make a new life for themselves. I mean, because they've got way more motivation than I've got, and having worked with those people, I will never put them down, and I will never say a bad word about somebody that determined to work that hard to make a better life. Now, that's not to say it's the same thing as a mule that's fucking toting across a bunch of heroin and shit. That's a whole different fucking story. But I'm talking about the guys that come over here looking for a job, and the guys that are that do find a job and they get a green card and they're sending money home to their family and yeah. But you know what? Hey, that's political shit. That you're entitled to your own opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion. I agree to disagree, and I'm not going to argue with you about it because um, I can be your friend and disagree with you on things like that, and I don't have to hate you for it. Not everybody feels that way. A lot of people feel like if they disagree with somebody politically, they have to hate them, and I'm not like that. You're entitled to your views, and I can respect you for having those. I don't have to agree with them. I can respect it. Cigar boxed guitar. Dude, that is cool, George. I've seen a couple of those. Those are badass. Yeah, it's not like ketchup. Yeah, no, yeah, fuck you and your ketchup. I'll let you have your opinion on political stuff, but fuck your ketchup. There was like three people left working construction. Yeah. Now, I mean, to be fair, I mean, like I don't know how often like companies or whatever hire undocumented people. I don't know. I mean, like I've never really been a subject to that. Even when I was in construction and plumbing, working commercial construction jobs, building WalMarts and shit like that, um, everybody had a green card. Um, Even working ranches with those guys. I mean, everybody was legal, but the exception being like I know of like restaurants where the cooks aren't documented and like the dishwashers aren't documented and stuff like that. But that's not my thing. That's their prerogative, and I ain't gonna hate on them because the jobs they're doing nobody else is gonna fucking do in town. Everybody else in town's too good for that shit. You know, and it one more rant. You know, I'm sorry, but predominantly white people, white Southern people, complain because, well, they're coming over here and they're taking our jobs. No, they're not. They're taking the jobs that you fucking refuse to do. Are you going to go out there and pick fucking oranges for 20 cents a bushel? You know, like, so, what was it? 30 days where Morgan Spurlock went out and did that, picked oranges for a week. And at the end of the week, like he picked enough oranges to make $30, like all day, like daylight to dark every day, and he made $30 for the week because you get paid by the orange. And these migrant workers are out there and they're orange picking motherfuckers and they're making $100 a week and they're fucking happy about it and they're sending 80 of that back to Mexico to their family and taking that $20 for the week for themselves to buy their food and supplies for the week. And I'm sorry, but um, I don't know a single American that's gonna think that's a great deal and take that job. They'd be like, "Nah, mate, I make $800 a week on unemployment. I'm not fucking picking oranges for $100 a week." Exactly right, George. I won't work that job because you're not paying me enough. But I'm not going to pay more for the same product, so you can hire a different person. Well, that's not that, and that's actually not exactly accurate because, like, say a fast food joint, they're like, well, we can't pay more than minimum wage because we'll have to charge more for the hamburger, and then people won't buy that. Bullshit. I mean, like, I can remember buying a fucking hamburger for $3. When I go to Whataburger now, I buy a hamburger for 14 fucking dollars. So that hamburger that used to cost me $3 or $4 now costs me $15 after tax, and they're still paying and in that time the minimum wage is still the same. So they were paying their workers $7 an hour 20 years ago. They're still paying that guy or girl $7 an hour, 7.25, and the price of the burger has gone up 500%. And you know what? When I roll through Whataburger, I don't look at the menu and go, "Oh shit, a double Whataburger with green chili and bacon is $15. Fuck that! I'm driving right through. I'm not ordering shit." No, I'm ordering the fucking burger and going, "Fuck, that's expensive." You know what I mean? I'm still buying the food. All right, Amber Alert. I got you. Uh, oh, sorry, I'm getting distracted. Anyways, sorry about that. But I mean, yeah. I can remember dollar burgers too. But I mean, it's one of those things. Wimbledon. A nickel for a cheeseburger. I'll gladly pay the Wimpy. I'll gladly pay you on Tuesday for a hamburger today. No, that was somebody else. Just saying, hoping I was having a good day. My mom telling me it's past my bedtime. Bitch! This is your mom telling me it was past my bedtime. And no, I mean and you're right. I mean, when I worked, what was this back in? Oh, fuck, 2000. Let's see, 98. I got out of the Air Force. That's I got the job in aircraft maintenance. I was a certified aircraft mechanic. I made $8.27 an hour as a licensed aircraft mechanic. That license cost me $6,000, and I made $8.27 an hour, and I brought home $700 every 2 weeks. And the only reason I was able to make it was because the house was paid off. Like there was no rent, there was no house payment. We owned the house. So the $700 that I had paid to keep gas in our old ass piece of shit car. It kept propane in the propane tank, food on the table most of the time. Sometimes we still qualified for SNAP. And it kept the electric bill paid. That's all it did. I mean, making more than minimum wage, working a 40-hour week. I barely got by with supporting a family of three, me, my wife, and Tiffany at the time, my oldest daughter, and then eventually it just became too much, and I couldn't do it anymore, and I got a call from the oil field, and I joined the oil field and bumped up to a six-figure income and never looked back. Yeah, that was May that just texted me Pandora. So, and she doesn't have to chat Pandora. She can join in and just like read and talk to you about it. She doesn't. I understand her social anxiety. She doesn't have to chat. She can just sit here. I mean, it's not like we have a whole lot left on the stream, but I hate to hijack your stream, but who am I kidding? I don't mind. Yeah, no, of course you don't mind. I don't mind either because, I mean, this is all this stream is a conversation between me and you guys. And as long as there's you guys here to bullshit and bust my balls, what little is left of them, we'll do this because I don't got to work tomorrow. I don't give a fuck. I mean, if I could, I'd take you guys outside while I have a smoke break because I only smoke a couple cigarettes a day, but I don't. So, and I can't carry my PC out with me while it's running. So, anyone got any ideas for a live stream? Yeah, I got a few, but hey, you're gonna have to get you an OnlyFans account to do it. What? What? Not interested? That's what I thought. Pussy. Yeah, I feel you. That's why I got into the blacks missing. Oh, that's fucked up, George. I mean, are you making them go missing, or are you looking for the missing ones? I mean, just saying. And you know what, George? Since we got freaking commercial for Olive Garden. Sorry about the commercials, guys. Let me type that in real quick. Sorry about the ads. I don't. Sorry about the ads. I don't control them. That did not even go through. That was a complete waste of my typing. But, yeah, no, I can't do anything about the ads. They're just there. YouTube puts them in whether you want to or not, and they don't give you a choice. So, it is what it is. If it was up to me, it would only be on our edited videos, not our live streams. But it's what it is. And yeah, and George, I mean, like, I got into blacksmithing just because it's like, oh, you mean I could make things that I need? And I've never been like someone for sharp and pointy because honestly, I've never met a blacksmith that can make a sharp and pointy better than one that I can buy at the store. Even though they say they can, they fucking can't. Every single knife I've ever gotten from a blacksmith has been the absolute worst piece of shit I've ever used in my life compared to the fucking 2 millimeter stainless steel bad motherfucker that I've got that slides through a tomato with no effort and no drag. You know, sorry. It just is what it is. I don't like handcrafted knives because they suck. But on the other hand, I can like make my own hinges. I can make my own like door latches and hooks for the walls and brackets and shelves. And it's like I learned all of this stuff because yeah, I started blacksmithing and hammers. Don't even get me started. Oh my God, I love making hammers. As much work as it is, my favorite thing to make is a hammer. And I mean, like, yeah, I don't make hammers like I've sold 2 hammers, and they were both bad motherfuckers. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But one of these days, I want to make a hatchet though, a hatchet or an axe. I'd like to do that. See, Stephen, that's the thing is everybody that blacksmiths thinks they can make one better than that fucking butcher knife that's my dad uses on the floor at the packing house, and I've never I've never found one that just keeps an edge or doesn't drag. I mean, especially Damascus. My God, the very first one I bought was Damascus, and it would just drag like all of the texture of because the texture of the pattern it's there. It drags on the stuff you're cutting, whereas the stainless steel one slides through effortlessly with like no resistance. And I'm sorry, and I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying like every single knife that I've gotten that was hand forged has been equally of yes, you can take it and you can shave the hair on your arm with it, and you can slice paper with no effort. But if you're gonna sit here and cut up a pig with it, or a deer or a cow, it ain't worth a fuck. And that's my only bitch is like trying to butcher a cow with a hand forged knife is like pulling fucking teeth. And I know I don't look like I'm that kind of person, but I'm that kind of person. It's okay, people. Can wait 5 seconds. uh, Axe versus maul versus hammer tool handles. Hmm. Robots are good sharpeners. John, you cannot make candlesticks. I don't know what you're thinking. You can make candlestick holders, though. And and I don't have any fascination with blades. Like I don't. I've always been, especially like I think it started with vehicles. Like when I was 16. Like the most important thing about your vehicle is function. Function before form. There's no point in putting a bunch of chrome all over your fucking engine because chrome doesn't help it run better. It doesn't help it run faster or longer, whatever. And so it was always make it work the best first and then make it look good afterwards. And so I've always been this proponent of function before form. Function is more important than looks above all else. And and I think in knife smithing, in bladesmithing in particular, looks are more important than how well it works always. It's always about how good the knife looks, how pretty it is, how straight everything is. Everything is about how it looks and not how it performs in the long run. Like over the course of an entire day, how is this knife going to perform over 8, 10 hours? Not like, cutting a sheet of paper or cutting a tomato. I mean, it's so um, yeah, exactly. Chrome is for shows, and Chrome don't get you home. Yeah, that's exactly right. And that's always been my bitch about like hand forged knives is like every single bladesmith that's given me a knife, it's all about how it looks, not about how it works. And even though, they give it to me with a razor sharp edge that'll shave hair, that razor sharp edge is gone in less than 20 minutes. And, and I've got to be hitting the steel, while I'm butchering, 3 times as often as that stainless steel knife I got at Sam's Club for $10. And I really hate that. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that I'm disappointed about that. Like it makes me sad that this badass looking knife doesn't just blow this cheap piece of shit out of the water. You know what I mean? And it's disappointing. It really is. And maybe I don't have maybe I've never gotten the right knife. I don't know. But the three that I've gotten, I'm just like every one of them's been a loser. Like one of them, like the Damascus one. Like the third time I tried to use it, I got so frustrated. I walked to the front door and I chucked that motherfucker out into the yard as far as I could. Had a walnut and buffalo horn handle with brass spacers. Um, I did later go pick it up before anybody ran it over and stuck it on the wall of my shop, and now it's just a buffalo horn, walnut, and brass spacer handle with this big ball of rust stuck to the end of it because it's just sat outside and rusted for over the last like 3 or 4 years. But yeah, And don't get me wrong. I mean, like back in the day when I was 16, I bought some chrome valve covers for my 350 and throwed them on there, and a sweet little Edelbrock Pro Flow air cleaner. But that's really about as far as it went. I don't think I ever had anything else chrome except I did use a chrome timing cover one time, but it wouldn't hold the crank seal, and so I swapped it out for a stock one after like it blew out the second seal. Um, and then in my race car I used because you couldn't get them not chrome, but the tall stack valve covers with the breathers on it instead of the little short ones. Those always came in chrome, but that's literally the only chrome I ever used on an engine. And the only reason I used them on the race car is because they were the tall ones. Will Skelter's last video, how it talked about how it cuts potatoes. Some cut, and others split it like firewood. Huh. Interesting. When it comes to knife sharpening, however, if you guys haven't ever checked it out, the channel Outdoor 55, man, that guy has been doing like an in-depth on sharpening with like microscope stuff for a couple of years now, and he's got some videos on sharpening that are just like will blow your mind, like completely upended, like my preconceived notions of how you sharpen a knife, completely upended it and showed, like why, not just like saying, hey, you're wrong, this is the way you should do it, but said, hey, you're wrong, this is how you should do it, and this is why, and then shows, under a microscope what happens the way you're taught to do it versus the way you should be doing it. And it's like, huh, all right, well, there's the burr, and then I don't know. It's a pretty interesting. But if you guys haven't ever checked him out, Outdoor 55, that's very interesting channel for knife sharpening, for sure. And no, I can't sharpen a knife the way he does. So say I've got my little drawer of knives, and when I'm gonna go cook something, I take out my steel, and I'm like, shh, 5 on each side, go to work. And if I'm cutting chicken breast, I'll have to do it twice. Or if I'm cutting up a pork loin into pork steaks. Ah, man, I was really thinking I was going to get some more pushback on my take on hand forged knives. And the only so Stephen, I've never obviously never seen any of your stuff. But the three knives that I got that I didn't care for. Um, One of them was an eBay thing. Um, the other one was from a blacksmith who I was traveling cross country, and I stopped by his house, and I told him one day I was going to be able to afford some of his shit because he makes really fucking pretty knives. And and it was typically, what I meant was just like for a decorative piece, right? He's like, oh, here, and he pulls one out, and he's like, shh, 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 here you go, you can have it, and yeah, I can't even open a fucking cardboard box with it. But and then the other one was somebody told me, he's like, what do you want? I'll make you the sharpest fucking thing you've ever seen in your life. And I've cut with rocks that are sharper, so there's that. But what's my favorite meat to cut? All right, John. You go put who put the dogs out? Who? John did. Put the dogs out, man. Catch you next weekend or this weekend. My favorite meat to cut. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to go with deer. I've not done elk. I've not done moose. I've cut up deer, beef, pork, chicken, obviously. Emu. I gotta say deer because it's a little bit more dense. than the others, it tends to go a little smoother, I think. And maybe that's just because like that's the first thing I learned to like bone out and cut up. Maybe that's why I have that preference. But beef is easy because it's bigger and it's more forgiving. But deer, when I cut up a deer, I just know what everything is and how I'm gonna I don't have to look at a piece and go, how am I gonna do this? I pull it. I because we don't ever like on the carcass. We take all the meat off the carcass, all the bones stay intact. And we just debone it like that. And like I know what every piece is gonna be before I even take it off of the carcass and then cut it up and package it appropriately. The giant chicken that's big enough to kick your ass. Yeah, no. Yeah, exactly. Emu, yes. Emu used to be a thing down here in Texas. People used to raise emu because it was going to be like the lean meat of the future. And it's fucking disgusting, though. I hate emu. I mean, like, not the birds. I think the birds are fascinating, but the meat, I think, is disgusting. Like, I made spaghetti with emu burger one night, and nobody in the house, everybody was like, that's fucking gross. I'm not eating that. And I took it outside and gave it to the dogs, and the dogs were like, they sniffed it, they looked up at me and was like, are you fucking kidding me? And they turned around and walked away. Yeah, I got your emu, Ryan, right here swinging. I hate birds. Can't trust anything with a weapon on its face. Um, the emu war. Oh yeah, man. One of these days, I know that's a real thing. One of these days, I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research on that because, like, the emu war. It's like one of those urban legends, like a dingo ate my baby, and then it's like, yeah, sure it did, and then 20 years later, it's like, oh, we found parts of your baby in dingo poop. Turns out you weren't lying. Here, we'll let you out of prison now. But Adam's the expert on what do you call it? The emu war. And yeah, when Pandora, when I was in down there in Eagle Pass, we did a lot of not javelina, but feral hog. We hunted a bit of javelina in the alpine area, but now I mean, fuck, feral hog is everywhere, and I've got three of them in my freezer right now that eventually I've got to brine and turn into hams and stuff. To the war the Australians lost twice. Yeah, that's it. And yeah, javelina, Javalina. So maybe you got it right. And yeah, that they are scary. I mean, javelina is a big rat, and yeah, I've encountered a few of them in the wild, and in every case, they've surprised me, and I've surprised them, and we both ran in opposite directions. But I mean, I've never encountered like a female with babies or anything like that where they get aggressive. All right, y'all, I'm getting tired, and I've been live for a hot minute. I don't even know what time it is, but I am yawning incessantly. Um, no, javelinas are not a big pig. They're actually fairly small compared to a pig, but they're a rodent. Javelina is actually a large rodent, so it's significantly oversized rat. Really, their javelinas are red meat, not white meat like a swine. But so they're maybe okay. So let me see here. Yay high. That's about how tall a javelina gets. About 2 foot tall, something like that. Whereas a feral pig, I mean, you can come across a feral pig that's 5 feet tall, 8 feet long, and weighs 900 pounds. Those are big and scary and aggressive. Okay, and okay, Pandora. They are red meat, and they're not technically rodentia, order rodentia, but I mean they're widely considered to be an oversized rat. They're not scientifically an oversized rat, but they're not in the same family as swine, nor are they in the family rodentia. They're in between. They're kind of their own little thing, but they don't really get that big. I mean, all of the ones I've ever encountered are no more than 2 feet tall. Okay, yeah, wild pigs, feral pigs. Yep. Those bitches are big and scary and will fuck you up. And they are so tasty. It kind of makes me mad when I see videos of like people just going out there and putting out a 5 gallon bucket of tannerite and pouring corn all around it, and then they get 30 pigs around it, and then they just blow up tannerite and kill all the pigs, and then they just leave them there to rot. It's like they're so good. Because there's no fat in them. It's all meat, and oh my god, oh, feral pig is so tasty. It is the best pork I've ever had. And like I said, I've got 67 pounds of feral pig from a ranch right out there by Bront, in between Bront and Blackwell, and hopefully this year I can get it brined and turned into ham and bacon. Well, not bacon because the pork bellies aren't big enough to make bacon out of, but ham and sausage and stuff. All right, y'all. I got to bounce. It's been 3 hours. Been on stream for 3 hours, which is a bit too long. I need to finish this little puppy right here and go to bed because I've gone way too long, and you guys have been great hanging out. And I will see you all on Sunday morning for the Sunday morning gathering. I hope you can be there. I hope you can hang out. We're talking about, I believe, improvised or not improvised, but forge fuels, and we're probably going to get into the specifics on some of the. I don't know what it is. I don't know if we're doing gas. I don't know if we're doing coal or solid fuels, but we'll figure it out. And yeah, so you guys have a great night, and thank you for showing up. See you Sunday. Bye.